Je m'appelle Christophe, je suis en design produit aussi.
Donc, moi c'est Solène et je viens aussi du même cursus produit.
My name is confiance. My major is a product design from China.
Je m'appelle Julie et j'étudie aussi le design d'espace.
Donc la présentation qu'on va faire va être intégralement en anglais. Donc j'espère que tout le monde comprend bien l'anglais. Donc le groupe de travail est en anglais. Donc la présentation sera intégralement en anglais. Okay, so you can start. Okay, so we're gonna talk about confidence. And first, we're gonna just show that video that probably most of you have seen. Just let's watch it first. So most of you probably have seen that video on TV. That thing illustrates the human-to-human relation, and you will see that we divided confidence into three kinds of relation, which is human-to-human, human-to-machines, and machines-to-machines. But we'll talk about it later. But that typically illustrates the idea of trusting each other, and that example, that game is actually a really good game to do because it really needs a lot of confidence and trust between each other and between people. So it's actually even something we should do when we're going tour. In each group, we should do this kind of game. And when you do this, if you do it very seriously, you can really start trusting people and trusting each other, which is one of the bases into a teamwork. You have to trust each other, and that is a really good thing to do. This illustrates the human-to-machines or human-to-technology idea. In our modern world, we believe science is completely trustworthy and completely reliable. So the idea of trusting people or trusting machines is the idea that you can rely on it. And as long as you can rely on it, you feel safe. And feeling safe is one of the most natural things in the world for people. We trust science, we trust technology, we take plane, even though we know that there is plane crash. So there is power in technology and science. We trust technology, even though we know that sometimes technology fails. And that's a very important thing between the human relation to the modern world, to the material world, and to machines and objects. This one is the machine-to-machine, to-human relation. We went a little bit further into the reflection, into confidence thinking. And so human-to-human is the most obvious link into about confidence. The human-to-machine is quite obvious too. But this one is a little more, a little deeper. The idea here is that we've gone so far into science and technology that now machines themselves sometimes don't trust each other. And that's what happened here when actually you're going to plug a device, a USB key or a DVD, like here. And the machine itself will say, I don't trust that other machine you plugged in. The human cannot say, okay, if you look at the DVD, you won't be able to say, okay, I think there is a virus in there. You can't see it, but the machine does. So that idea of confidence is machine-to-machine confidence. And then that comes back to human, because we're the one using those machines. That's very interesting to say, okay, that software is dangerous. I don't trust it. So you've got the choice. Keep using it or unplugging it or just launching a removal software or whatever. But that machine does not trust that other machine. This is a little bit in that same idea. It's, well, you probably recognized it. It's a picture from iRobot, the iRobot movie. And that movie is really interesting because it goes even deeper, even further into the idea of machines that start thinking and intelligence, artificial intelligence. And for those who know that movie, there is one robot inside the whole army of the robots that start having emotions, feelings, and fear. And he's the one actually trusting human, and the only one trusting human, while all the other machines turn against human. And that winking of the eye is typically an action of trust and confidence. When you're with friends, if you want to, send them a message without saying a word, you're just going to wink like this. And that just very simple gesture is already a proof of confidence and trust. And then, we went a little bit further, maybe into a more philosophical idea about confidence with a heuristic schema heuristic. We divided confidence into three main categories, which is the material world, the immaterial world, and what we call the tangible virtuality. We're going to start with material world. So the material world is the man-made environment, things we created ourselves. And then we've got the natural environment. Natural environment is the nature that surrounds us. It's forests and rivers and mountains, air, fire, water, everything that surrounds us, which is the natural environment. And in the man-made environment, we have the products and the architecture, things human built. And confidence is in all of those things into the material world. Man-made environment, we create objects and spaces, architectures that we have to trust. We have to feel safe when we use them. If you use a power tool, if you use a drilling machine, you have to feel like when you use that machine, you're safe. You're not going to lose a hand or whatever. So this is really important, and you have to feel confident and trust to rely on those things. And same in the natural environment. If you're living in an environment, natural environment that is dangerous for your life, then you're not going to feel safe, and you're not going to feel confident about yourself and about your surroundings. Now we're going to go to the immaterial world. Some of the previous groups already explained that confidence was immaterial. It's that link between people that is not physical. And in that immaterial world, we've got the human and animal. Animals, there is confidence also between human to animal. If you've got a pet, if you've got a dog, there is trust between your dog and yourself. I mean, you're not going to fear that it's going to bite your hand. So there is that invisible link and confidence between your pet and yourself. In the human, it's a bit more complex. We've got three levels. We've got the spiritual level, the psychology, and we've got the senses. Senses, well, seems quite obvious. Senses is everything we rely on every single day. Every single day we rely on our senses. We trust what we see, we trust what we touch, what we smell, what we taste. So this one is quite obvious. And but maybe not as obvious as it sounds actually. You probably all know Descartes. And Descartes was saying that we should not trust our senses. And one of the most simple thing about senses is, what about optical illusions? Optical illusions are the proof that our senses can deceive us. and that sometimes we can't rely on our senses. So even though every single day we rely on our senses, things show that we should not always also rely on our senses. So you can go really, really deep into the senses thinking and into the perception side. Also with Bergson, another philosopher, was talking about dreams. And he was saying that when you dream, in your dream, while you're dreaming, everything seems real. When you're dreaming, everything is real as we are now. So, how can we be sure that now, right now, everything's not a dream? Maybe it's just the dream of one of you. Who knows? Because when you're dreaming, it feels as real as now. So there is big, deep thinking here that we could go into. Spirituality is, some other groups talked about it, it's quite obvious too. Spirituality is basically trusting and having confidence into higher entities that are unnatural, unreal, unphysical, which is basically what we call commonly God. The psychology side is quite important too, and a bit more complex. We've got some group already talked about it. Confidence for myself. I feel confident, and because I feel confident, I can do things, do actions, and be sure. We've got the close relations, which are divided into two, which is the chosen and the unchosen. In the human relation, we've got the I, me, myself, and then we've got the close people, which are the family and friends. So the family is the unchosen. You don't choose your family. So sometimes you trust them, sometimes you don't. But that's the unchosen friend relation. And the chosen one, sometimes we rely on them even more than our own families, which are basically our friends. So there is confidence also in there. And then there is the global, which is basically what we could call humanity or society or governments. Basically, it's all the other people you don't know about. But still, there is confidence. You have to feel confident and trust into your government, into human society, and basically the humanity. And then we've got that weird thing there, which is the tangible virtuality. Tangible virtuality is both material and immaterial. It's not fully material and not fully immaterial. It's both. It's what we call tangible virtuality. And there we put branding and services. Just to explain services, basically it's, for example, internet. Internet is service. It's a service and that is working with servers and computers and everything. So it got that physical, real link to the material world, and that immaterial world, which is virtuality. But still, when you do internet banking, you trust what you're doing. You trust, you feel confident about all the transactions you do into internet banking. So there is confidence into services. And then we put there branding. Branding it's kind of a complex idea. It's the image of a brand. A brand, for example, if you take a tool, or let's say computers, there is, for example, Apple. Well, there is the Mac products, okay, the Apple products, but there is also the idea of Mac and Apple, and that's the brand. And even though you don't know the products, you're gonna trust that brand, the whole idea of that brand, and that's not physical, that's not material. It's just an immaterial confidence for that brand. So this is probably not completely, detailed and full, but it already explains, quite a lot of things about confidence. So basically, that's how far we've gone, but we could go even deeper into thinking about that. So, thank you.